your freaking job, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You don't need to be in New York City talking that nonsense. Go back to your district. You're not. What are you doing here? You're here for politics. You're here because you want to be VP. You're here for your own fundraising. You're here for your own nonsense. You will not answer my question. Don't stop and talk to me. Okay, I'll bring it down a notch.
All right, folks.
Have you ever worked in the school?
I've got a bill to repeal the federal...
I worked in the school for 20 years.
You're just screaming.
I was a teacher. I was screaming before you came and interrupted me. I worked in the school for 20 years. I worked in the school 20 years.
In every school,
I was a teacher. I was a school counselor. I was a middle school principal.
He's an ineffective congressman.
Why?
He argues. No, because he argues.
The people in here understand passion. They know that we need passion in this moment. You want to go to Washington and play nice with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No, you vote with her, so why shouldn't you play nice with her?
Come on now.
Here's the point, and I'd like to make it, Madam Moderator, without his interruption. When you work in a legislative body, you need to form coalitions with people. You need to have their respect. You need to talk to them as normal people. You can't preach and scream at them on the steps of the Capitol.
Okay.
He's ineffective as a congressman for this very reason that you've just
seen. We're going to
seen.
have a lot of disappointed viewers if I don't rein this in.
The angry black man. The angry black man.
Let's stay on topic, please.
It's the Southern strategy in the North.
Let's stay on topic.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about woke, race hustling, squad member, insurrectionist, Democrat Jamaal Bowman, who is on the verge of losing his congressional seat after pulling a disgusting race card in the middle of a debate against his primary opponent, George Latimer. Now, again, if you guys are not familiar with Jamaal Bowman, you probably should be. This guy is the same guy that pulled the fire alarm at the Capitol in order to obstruct an official proceeding and then lied about it to Capitol Police. Now, because Republicans do not have cojones, okay, they don't know how to actually sack up and to teach the Democrats a lesson, to do what the Democrats would definitely do to them if they had done that. They allowed him to stay in Congress even though he should have been kicked out, okay? He should have been expelled, because we all know if that was Marjorie Taylor Greene that pulled that alarm with the intent to obstruct an official proceeding, we all know that Democrats would have kicked her out immediately, okay? It would have been over. It would have been done, right? But because this guy is black and a Democrat, the Republicans let him slide. I think he is one of the primary examples of the Republican Party being too soft, okay? The fact that he is still in Congress, although they did decide to get rid of one of their own, George Santos, and they're letting Bob Menendez slide, who's also a Democrat. It's just kind of amazing how that works. But anyway, there's still a good chance that Jamaal Bowman will basically be kicked out of Congress because it looks like he's on a one-way trip to losing his Democratic primary battle. Now, again, this is in New York District 16, which is in the Bronx, okay? And his opponent, George Latimer, is running against Bowman, basically as a pro-Israel Democrat, okay? He's probably just as progressive as Bowman, but yet he's pro-Israel. So essentially, there's a lot of money behind George Latimer to beat Jamaal Bowman. Now, in my opinion, I don't have a dog in this fight, okay? Doesn't really matter who wins to me, but I do think it will be pretty sweet seeing Jamaal Bowman lose his job, because this guy honestly is just an agent of chaos, okay? He really is, but it's not really going to change anything in regards to how Democrats vote. I just find it to be hilarious that Jamaal Bowman, again, is on the verge of losing his job, especially considering how this dude pulled a nasty, disgusting race card in the middle of the last debate. And polls that have been taken since that debate are showing that, hey, that race card really didn't help him out too much, because this guy is getting blown out, absolutely blown out in his race. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Pix 11 is your local election headquarters, and right now we are unveiling an exclusive poll in the heated Democratic primary in New York's 16th congressional district.
Yeah, this is a race to represent parts of North Bronx and most of Westchester County. Pix 11's Henry Rossoff joins us now with more on this poll. Henry.
Aaron E. Kendis, incumbent Congressman Jamaal Bowman and his challenger Westchester County Executive George Latimer have really begun to clash as we approach primary day, June 25th. And let's get right to our exclusive polling. It shows the County Executive Latimer with a fairly commanding lead. This is a survey of very likely voters. 48% of the voters said that he would be their choice. That's a 17-point advantage over sitting Congressman Bowman. And look at this. There is a fair number of undecided, 21%, but it would take almost all of those voters to side with Bowman for us to really, have a much closer race here. Let's get into the...
Yeah, he's done. Right? He's cooked. Okay, we're talking about 17 points. The margin of error is 4.7%, guys. So this is well outside of the margin of error. Now, again, 21% are undecided. But again, it would take a miracle, an absolute miracle, for all 21% of those voters to align with Jamaal Bowman. Most likely, they'll probably split, which is, again, why they're undecided. And George Latimer essentially is going to blow this man out, right? I mean, that's what's about to happen. And quite honestly, I cannot think of a more fitting end, outside of being expelled from Congress, than for this guy to get destroyed, especially considering how he's so desperate that he's playing the race card when anybody criticizes him, right? Or says that he gets too loud or that he talks too much, which is definitely true. Again, this guy accuses anybody who disagrees with him of being a racist or a bigot. And for that very reason, this is why I'm rooting against him, okay? All other things being basically equal to me, I don't care about, these two individuals because they're both the same. The only difference between them is that one is pro-Israel and one is not. One is a race hustler and one is not. I would much rather see the race hustler out of Congress, okay? That's where I'm at on this. But yeah, I mean, it is looking really, really, really bad for Jamaal Bowman. And remember, it's not just him. Cori Bush as well, too, who is the loudmouth race hustling Democrat from Missouri, right? St. Louis. She also is on the chopping block, right? It looks like she's probably going to lose her race as well, too, to a pro-Israel challenger. So what you have here is the Democrats basically eating their own if they don't get on board with a certain agenda, right? But again, I think Jamaal Bowman should have been kicked out of Congress anyways because of the fire alarm incident. And also, again, he's an agent of chaos. He's a race hustler. So if he loses, hey, to me, it's like, well, it is what it is, right? I'm going to be happy if he loses, to be quite honest with you.
Demographics of this, because I think diving in really shows the base of support here is very different. You have Congressman Bowman really getting 44% of those in this survey under the age of 40 and 48% of black voters. Very different when you look at...
Well, that's still not a majority. I mean, that's pretty bad, actually, considering how this guy is a woke progressive. You would think that he'd be winning at least 50% of the voters under 40 and also at the very least 50% of the black voters. Okay, he's under 50% with black voters, and he's black and a progressive. Yeah, this is bad, right? This guy's about to get cooked.
Mr. Latimer, if we'll page over there, you'll see that the over 40 number is at around 51% and white voters 62%. This is a majority white district, but it still is fairly diverse. Let's move on to the next page, and we can show you some more things that we uncovered in this poll. The economy, like taxes, inflation, jobs, sitting at 22%. Housing affordability, closely related but distinctly different. And this is talked about a lot on the campaign trail at 21%. And threats to democracy at 14% in this deeply Democratic district. The winner of this primary likely expected to have an easier time in the general election. The other thing that's really animating this race is the war in Israel, and we asked voters how they aligned on that, which candidate they thought shared their values more on issues like ceasefire, aid to Israel, aid to Gaza civilians. A majority picked George Latimer again. 45% say they really align with him on Israel. 29% they say they line up with Jamaal Bowman, who's gone so far as to say there's genocide happening right now in Gaza. And 26% are unsure how they're aligned. And then finally, let's do a quick roundup of the approval of other notable leaders in this survey. 69% say that they support President Biden. I will note that he got somewhere around 75% in the election, but this is a pretty solid number. It dips significantly to Governor Hochul and then dips a lot for Mayor Adams. To be fair, the Bronx is not a huge part of this district, so electorally this doesn't quite line up with him, but obviously everyone's got an opinion about the mayor of New York City, Aaron and Candace.
They do indeed.
Yeah,
Thank you,
17
Henry.
points. Do you think that's recoverable at all or no?
We will see. There's a debate that could give an opportunity for anyone to make a change here. So.
Yeah, and as Henry mentioned, don't forget, Henry and Picks on Politics anchor Dan Manarino will be moderating a live debate between those two candidates. It'll be a week from today. That's next Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on.
Yeah, so when you have the anchors wondering whether or not you can overcome this deficit, yeah, you're definitely cooked, right? You're done. And again, playing the race card doesn't help. This is what happens when you go to Congress and your whole career is about being a social media star, which is what the squad is all about, right? The whole squad is nothing but virtue signaling, woke virtue signaling, and trying to raise money on social media while not actually accomplishing a damn thing, right? Which I'm happy that they don't accomplish a damn thing, okay? But again, you see people like Jasmine Crockett. She doesn't accomplish anything. She doesn't get anything done, right? The most she's accomplished is creating a shirt, right, with a what the left would define as a homophobic slur on it, okay? I'm just saying. And she's grifting off of that after going viral in Congress for her exchange with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But outside of that, what has she done? What has she really accomplished besides being an agent of chaos? Nothing. Because these people don't actually go to Congress to accomplish anything outside of making a whole bunch of noise, okay? They're just social media influencers. And ultimately today, when it comes time for re-election and you can't go back to your district and say, hey, I did this, I did that, I got this bill passed, or I led on this initiative, the only thing you can show for it is that, well, I argue with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I went viral a couple times on social media for arguing with Republicans in the halls of Congress, okay, or on the steps, or, you know, going on TV and debating Byron Donalds, right? When you can't actually really go back to your constituents and say that you actually delivered on something, yeah, it's going to be hard, okay? Really going to be hard to get reelected, especially when you have a local guy that challenges you in the primary that everybody seems to know and be familiar with, to the point where you're getting blown out like this in the primaries, even though you are an incumbent, right? You're an incumbent getting blown out. That's how bad this man is doing, right? So again, you know, you love to see it, right? You really do. But nobody's voted yet, so we'll see what happens. He may survive this challenge, okay? He might, but I highly doubt it, okay? I think is over, right? I really do. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not calling it yet, although I really do believe that it's over. He could still survive, but I highly doubt it. I hope that this is the end of the road for Jamaal Bowman. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.